Good day, this is Anya, and welcome. Today I am here to share with you a quantum face healing for the face of shame. And it is something that I've been contemplating and thinking about before I come here and share with you on how we're going to take a look at shame and work with it and heal shame. So the first thing that came to my mind actually thinking about shame is this book, Power versus Force by David Hawkins. And he speaks about shame when he talks about the different energy levels of human consciousness. And the lowest level that he discusses here is shame. So I thought I would share with you some of his thoughts on shame and then go into some things that I've been thinking about for shame and then going into our emotional freedom technique and face yoga. So let's have patience as we kind of set ourselves up for and understand what shame is, and then take a look at how we can approach to healing shame from within and healing the face of shame. So the energy level of shame, according to this book, is 20, which is the first lowest level that one can experience. So shame here is actually, he talks about the level of shame is approximate to death. And we all have some awareness of the pain of losing face, becoming discredited, or feeling like a non-person. In shame, we hang our heads and slink away, wishing we were invisible. There are life experiences that can lead to shame, such as sexual abuse, that warps the personality for a lifetime unless these issues are resolved by therapy or some type of healing. Shame, as Freud determined, produces neuroses. It's destructive to emotional and psychological health, and as a consequence of low self-esteem, makes one prone to the development of physical illness. The shame-based personality is shy, withdrawn, and introverted. Shame is used as a tool of cruelty, and its victims often become cruel themselves. Shame children are brutal to animals and to each other. The behavior of people whose consciousness is only in the 20s is dangerous. They're prone to hallucination of an accusatory nature as well as paranoia. Some become psychotic or commit bizarre crimes. Some shame-based individuals compensate with perfectionism and rigidity, becoming driven and intolerant. Notorious examples are the moral extremists who form vigilant groups, projecting their own unconscious shame into others whom they then feel justified in righteously attacking. It goes on to talking about serial killers has often acted out of sexual moralism with the justification of punishment. Since it pulls down the whole level of personality, shame results in a vulnerability to the other negative emotions and therefore often produces false pride, anger, and guilt. So that's pretty heavy here. And I wanted to share this from this book. It's pretty extreme where shame can take you, and we're all at different levels with it. And I do think of life in its like percentages. We all experience shame. It's just like what percentage of us, are we experiencing shame 5% of our lives, or is it like 80% of our lives? And if shame is taking over your life and you are experiencing serious side effects from shame and your personality and your ability to cope with life, then I highly recommend getting professional help. In this video it's for people, we've all experienced shame. So not in, for those of you who feel like shame is really paralyzing your life, you need to go get professional help. But for those of us who have experienced shame and feel like it's something that within our own being that we can take a look at and work with, and feeling confident within yourself that you can take care of yourself, then this video could be for you. I mean, I have taken a look at shame in my life from, I can remember as a little girl, my grandfather gave me $10 to go bowling, and I lost the $10. And at that time, that was a lot of money. And I remember, I can go back and remembering the shame of losing this money and feeling, yeah, really shame. I mean, I have to acknowledge that that little girl felt shame. And to a time of being in a dark night of the soul, where realizing that the part of me that felt shame, there was a war going on between my ego and the part of me that was feeling shame. And in this war, what I can look back now and saying that conflict, that war between these two parts of me actually made the dark night of the soul go darker and go deeper. And maybe I needed to go into the darkest place I could fathom to realize that I wanted to climb out of that place and to heal. But recognizing now that there's a way I can approach these parts of me without going into war. And that, for me, is by strengthening the neutral mind, my awareness, the part of me that is witnessing when these parts arise. And for those of you who don't feel like you have a neutral mind, a witness and awareness, you have strengthened that. That is where a therapist or professional could be very helpful. But if you're feeling like you've been working on your meditation practice and you have been strengthening your ability to be in the neutral awareness, being mindful, then you can take a look at when shame arises. Instead of going to war with shame, I'm going to acknowledge shame. I am going to see shame, accept him or her, love her and understand her or him. And in that way, I can help dissolve the shame instead of fighting with it and creating that resistance, which actually just creates a larger shame, I want to call larger mess to clean up. So that is my introduction for shame. And now I'd like to go into an emotional freedom technique where we're going to work with shame. I first want to just pause for a moment and let you see if this video is for you, and if it is, connecting with the situation and that you have witnessed a part of you experiencing shame. And taking this opportunity to work with that part, to heal that part as we go into our tapping session. And then after we conclude our tapping session, we're going to do a face yoga session for the face of shame. Changing the muscular configuration of the face of shame into a face of peace and contentment. So I'm bringing some joy to that face. And by doing that, we are raising our calibration. We're raising our consciousness. We're, working with these levels, changing shame into peace, joy, and happiness, which are, vibrating at a much higher frequency. So, peace is 600, joy is 540, acceptance is 350, neutrality is 250. So by working with neutrality, the witness, and taking a look at shame and transmuting shame into peace, joy, even neutrality, is we're raising our vibration and our frequency. So if you feel like this video is for you, it could be a huge transformation in the vibration, the frequency that you're vibrating at. So I'm going to tune into my neutral face and observing a situation where I am witnessing the face of shame. And asking the face of shame, are you willing to receive a healing? Are you willing to transmute those lower vibrations into a higher frequency? And I'm getting, yes, she's very open and willing to having this experience. So you check in with yourself and see if the part of you that has experienced shame is also willing. And then we'll go into our emotional freedom technique. And I am going to do the tapping, and you can repeat after me. If there's something that you want to say that's different, that's fine. There's really no wrong way of doing this. So let's begin. Even though a situation appeared in your life that you went into the face of shame, and even though you're wearing the face of shame, I'm here to tell you that I see you, I accept you, and I love you, no matter what. Even though the face of shame appeared, feeling like you just like to bury your head below sea level or under a pillow, I see you. I understand why you would want to do that. It does not feel good. To wear the face of shame, to feel the shame, to feel embarrassed. It doesn't feel good. I'm here to tell you that I see you. And I see how you appeared throughout my life at different times. All of a sudden you're going about life, something happens, and boom, I've heard the doorbell of shame just rang. And there you are. Wasn't expecting you that today. But you're here. And I'm here to tell you that I see you, I accept you, and I love you, no matter what. The face of shame. It feels heavy. It feels like you want to look down. You don't want to be seen. You want to hide. You'd like to disappear. You don't even want to be in this world. So embarrassed. I'm here to tell you that I see you. And I understand why you might feel that way. And no matter what, I love and accept you. And I'm also telling you that just because you've experienced the face of shame does not mean you need to stay there. You are not alone. That's right, you are not alone. We've all experienced shame to some degree or another. But the one thing about faces is they change. And you don't have to wear this face of shame. We can heal you by accepting you, seeing you, and loving you. We're healing you. Even though the face of shame has come up at different times in my life, I'm here to tell you that I see you. I acknowledge you. I accept you. And I love you. And I would understand why you might feel that way. Feeling embarrassed. Feeling like you want to hide. Feeling regret. Not good enough. Like a loser. But I'm here to tell you that you don't have to feel this way for the rest of your life. That this is not all of you. There's more to you than this. And we can heal this. Even though the face of shame and it could just come up just like that. I had a friend say the doorbell of shame. All of a sudden you're going about your day and all of a sudden something happens and the doorbell rings and shame appears. And you just want to go hide. Well, I'm here to tell you that you're not hiding from me anymore because I see you. And I'm not judging you. I'm just accepting you and loving you. No matter what. It's not all of you. The face of shame is not in totality of who you are. It's just a small part. It's a small part that we can heal just by accepting and loving. The face of shame. I see you. I love you. And I accept you. And I'm sorry the face of shame was so painful to wear. Emotionally painful. But I'm here to tell you that I see you. I love you. And I accept you. And just by giving you a hug, dissolving the pain and showing you another way to live. Let's tap underneath the armpit. Just tapping here gently, lovingly. And then on top of the head again, just tapping here. Maybe just doing a little rub here. Just like you would pet an animal, just rubbing. Using both hands. As we go into our face yoga practice, going right into the face yoga practice from our emotional freedom technique, and by giving ourselves a scalp massage. Recently, I have really been exploring the power of releasing the tension in our scalp on a regular basis. Really releasing the tension. So as you're doing this, think about that face of shame that wants to just, head's very heavy and down and wants to go hide and doesn't want anyone to see. And imagine that you're giving that face of shame a scalp massage, and that you're petting the face of shame, just like, you pet your animal, your cat or your dog, that you pet yourself. And it's something that you can practice on, because the face of shame would love to feel some acceptance. The more we fight with it, as I talked about, it's just like we're digging a deeper hole. But just to say, I accept you, I love you, and I'm just gonna nourish you. Everything's going to be okay. Just take a nice deep breath in. Exhale out. Just relaxing the shoulder blades. Let's close our eyes for a moment. Relax your tongue. And just take a moment to tune into that face of shame and notice how she or he's doing right now. I would say definitely feeling, for me when I tune in, feeling more relaxed and more accepted. And that's already like a huge transformation. Yeah, it feels good. Feels really good. Actually, shame feels lighter because we're dissolving shame. And now we're going to go into a little face yoga practice. When I think about the face of shame, I think about everything dropping down. The corners of the lips are dropping. Everything is dropping, which happens as we get older. And wondering, maybe it's because we are wearing all these faces unconsciously that our face is changing. Like they say that as we get older, our face becomes more rectangular and less like a heart-shaped. So, excuse me, there, I'm dealing with my little puppy here. For some reason wants to play right now, but it's okay. So, the face becomes more rectangular as we get older. Things are dropping. So the one area which I have a video on about building the beam here, by building the muscles across here and building the temple area. And so we're going to work on this area and creating and getting in touch with our jawline and lifting the corners of the mouth. So let's get into it. First, let's close our eyes and bring our awareness into the temples. Good. So just becoming aware of these temples. And let's take your left hand on your forehead, right pinky to the outside of the right eye, and we're going to gaze over at our right pinky, and then bring your awareness into your right temple, and then into your right ear. And then let's gaze up between the fingertips. And one more time, we'll look over at the right pinky, into the right temple. Think about lifting the right temple back as we bring our awareness into our right ear. And release. Breathing in and breathing out. We're going to do the other side. Right hand on the forehead, left pinky to the outside of the left eye. We're going to gaze over at the left pinky. Bring our awareness into our left temple and into our left ear. And then we're going to gaze between the fingertips with our left eye. And then one more time, going into looking over at your left pinky. Bring your awareness drawing back from the left pinky into the temple. So you're really working on bringing your awareness into the temple and expanding that out and back towards the left ear now. And release. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. Now we're going to take your left hand and just on the right side of the cheek, I just kind of like to draw it over and then lift. Take your thumb and your fourth finger and lift the left cheek up. Bring the chin, you can take your hand, relax the chin muscle, and then take your hand up towards your right eyebrow, and you're going to gaze up at the right finger. And think about the corner of the right lip lifting up towards the finger. And release. Breathing in and breathing out. And you're working here on the face of shame. You're transforming, transmuting that face that wants to just way down and bury itself in the sand or under a pillow. And you're saying, you know what? I love you. I accept you. I see where you're at. But come with me. Let's do something different and see how it feels. So now we're going to take it the other way, where you're going to bring your hand and lift the right cheek up, relax the chin, take your left hand to the left eyebrow underneath, and look up at your left fingertip. Also lift the left corner of the mouth up, hold, and release. Breathing in and breathing out. And that is our face yoga session for today. Thank you so much for joining in on this healing the face of shame, because as you heal your face, we are healing the universe. We're healing the world. We're healing Earth, because as we heal ourselves, we are vibrating at a certain frequency, and as if we raise our frequency, we're helping to raise the frequency of the planet. So we no longer need to live in shame. Yes, there are things that happen in our lives that shame appears, and we need to accept that and see it and love that part of us that has this reaction, but to allow him or her not to have to stay there. I mean, the one thing we can count on is change. And being the change is such a beautiful thing. So here we are together, being the change, raising the frequency of the planet together. And I want to thank you so much, if you are here at the end of this video, for being a part of the video and doing the work to be the change. Thank you. Namaste.